Welcome back, Real Madrid fans. We're bringing you a fresh update on two of the most exciting players in world football right now, Vinicius Junior and Raphinha. These two have been making headlines recently, not just for their club performances, but also for their actions on the international stage with Brazil. But the story goes beyond just their football skills. It's about the tension, the teamwork, and the drama surrounding their interaction in Brazil's recent clash with Colombia. Before we continue, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and give us a like if you're enjoying the content. It really helps us out and keeps you updated with all the latest news surrounding Real Madrid and our favorite players, like Vinicius and Raphinha. As you may know, Brazil has had a tumultuous couple of years in international football. The 2021 Copa America final was a bitter loss to Argentina, and while they did make it to the 2022 World Cup, they were knocked out, disappointing millions of fans. Then, just recently, Brazil faced another heartbreak as they were eliminated from the Copa America 2024 by Colombia. It's been a roller coaster for Brazil fans, but there's one player who has faced more scrutiny than most, Vinicius Junior. Vinicius has been under fire in his home country for not being able to replicate his Real Madrid form with the Brazilian national team. It's a tough situation, especially given the high expectations placed on him after a phenomenal season at Madrid. He was also a Ballon d'Or contender, narrowly missing out last year, and this time around, it's possible that Raphinha, his Barcelona counterpart, could be in the mix. The stakes are high, and with their club rivalry intensifying, things took a dramatic turn during Brazil's match against Colombia. Now, let's dive into what happened on the pitch. With Brazil leading, tensions were running high in the final minutes of the game. In the closing stages, there were two moments where Raphinha seemed to shove Vinicius off the pitch. To an untrained eye, it looked like Raphinha was being overly aggressive, but as it turns out, there was more to it than met the eye. After the match, Vinicius himself explained what had actually transpired between the two. He revealed that Raphinha wasn't being antagonistic. Instead, the Barcelona vice-captain was actually trying to help him. Both players were at risk of picking up a yellow card, which would have led to a suspension for the upcoming match against Argentina. In Vinicius' case, missing that game could have been disastrous for Brazil, especially considering the high stakes of the South American qualifiers. Vinicius said, "It's always complicated in the qualifying matches. It's just 2 cards for suspension. You make a foul and you're already at risk of suspension, and I couldn't miss the next game." His concern was entirely understandable. Missing the match against Argentina would have been a huge blow for Brazil, and potentially for his own reputation as well. At the end of the day, this incident just goes to show how much the players are aware of the bigger picture. While Real Madrid fans might have been cheering for Vinicius to get the yellow card in order to avoid a suspension, Brazilian supporters were praying for him to stay clear of any bookings. The reality was that Raphinha and Vinicius were both playing a game of self-preservation, trying to avoid suspension while also doing what was best for the national team. As we saw, both players managed to avoid the yellow cards, and the match ended with a 2-1 win for Brazil over Colombia. Both Vinicius and Raphinha scored the crucial goals, ensuring that Brazil got the 3 points they needed in the qualifiers. It was a huge relief for the Seleção, who are now set to face Argentina in what could be a deciding match in the race for World Cup qualification. Now, let's take a moment to talk about something that might have crossed your mind. Barcelona fans, of course, were hoping Raphinha would pick up a yellow card and face a suspension. But it seems their hopes were dashed as Raphinha managed to keep his record clean. However, there's a twist. Raphinha is now set to miss Barcelona's next game against Osasuna, with the Argentina-Brazil game finishing just 42 hours before Barcelona's match in Montjuic. So, Raphinha's situation has created a bit of an issue for Barcelona, but that's a story for another day. Now, as we wrap up this incredible story, it's clear that the relationship between these two players, who represent rival clubs in Real Madrid and Barcelona, is far from simple. Despite their club loyalties, their focus is on what's best for Brazil, and that's something we should all appreciate. The way they put their differences aside for the greater good of the national team is a true display of professionalism and teamwork. Now, as we wrap up this incredible story, it's clear that the relationship between these two players, who represent rival clubs in Real Madrid and Barcelona, is far from simple. Despite their club loyalties, their focus is on what's best for Brazil, and that's something we should all appreciate. The way they put their differences aside for the greater good of the national team is a true display of professionalism and teamwork. So, what do you think, Real Madrid fans? How do you feel about the situation between Vinicius and Raphinha? Do you think Vinicius will finally break through with the national team, or will the criticism continue? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you think. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, and leave a like.